the stuff that's fed them in the newspapers or online. This is our man that goes deeper. He digs deeper. We don't always agree, but we love Bob being a part of the program. We don't even know if his name's Bob, but we call him Bob, our alternate media guy. Bob, good morning to you. Where are you taking us today?
So I want to talk about this Qantas thing, because you and I actually had a chat about the Great Reset. I think it was like a week ago now. And back then, I talked to you about this COVID app that was coming through, and that they were going to use COVID to push this Great Reset. And now we have Qantas coming out saying that you won't be able to fly internationally unless you get the vaccination.
And he said, and he asked himself this question out loud on the current affair, and he said, and domestically, we'll have to wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, and then they also talked about an app as well. They talked about an app to prove that you have the vaccination. So for people who want to call me a conspiracy theory, do you still believe me? But I was going to say, the problem with this, we both know it's not going to be just international, right? Like sooner or later, they're going to switch from just being international to international and domestic. And then before you know it, you're going to be taking a vaccine just to go to the supermarket because you might be killing grandma that's down there doing her shopping. And everybody's going to be taking this vaccine. And from what I've heard, and look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, right? Vaccine for polio and stuff is great. But from what I heard is the scientists keep saying that these vaccines that they're developing, and this is something for you to ask your doctor friend when he gets on later, do you need a booster every year? Because from everything I'm hearing is they're not quite sure, but they're leaning towards, yes, every year you're going to have to get a booster shot.
Yeah, they're still working that out, and I think you will. But you also, just for the flu, for the ordinary influenza vaccination, you need to have that updated every year as well. Because, Bob, as you know, viruses never stay the same. They reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
So even the flu vaccine, Bob, you need a booster. You need a new one every year because the strain changes.
And I don't get the flu vaccine. Subsequently, if I do get the flu once a year, it's probably for a few days and I'm fine.
I get the vaccine, but I am of Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander background. And if I get the flu, Bob, it kills me. I am a soldier on sort of a person and I don't get sick. My listeners will tell you, people who've been listening to me for 4 years on this Triple M network, I haven't had a sick day.
No.
I haven't had a sick day, but I get the flu vax because I don't want to get it. And there's no 100% guarantee just because I get the flu vaccination that I won't get it. But if there's a vaccination there, I'll have a crack at it just to narrow my odds. You with me?
But that's my point about this, right? Is at the end of the day, if people want to get the vaccination and not get COVID, like, for example, my parents are elderly, I would say to them, yes, you go and you get the vaccination because even though it's 95% or 95%, chances are that's going to protect you, right? If they want to go and get it.
This one from Oxford they're saying about 90.
Yeah, and do keep in mind, it's Pfizer that's claiming this. These results have not been independently certified at the moment. So it's literally the company that's trying to sell the vaccine is claiming that it's 90 or 95%, depending on which report you read. So that has to be independently verified in December, I believe it is. So that's coming around the corner. But like I say, if people want to get the vaccine, I'll be like, yeah, you should have that choice. That's something that you should have. But forcing people to have the vaccine, that to me is we're starting to get in 1984 territory.
Yeah, I am not for compulsory vaccinations to a point, because if you do vaccinate yourself and vaccinate your kids, you should be right. But I haven't got a problem being told for me to get on a Qantas flight, I've got to be vaccinated because I'll have it. But here's the thing, Bob. What about people coming to Australia? We are girt by protection. if somebody wants to come to Australia, whether it be by boat, by plane, by whatever, should our government say you do not come here unless we have proof you've been vaccinated?
My problem with this is when we're getting back into the proof. How are we going to do this proof? Are we going to do some QR code that China is currently pushing on the world at the moment? Because that means we're going back to an app, and that means that China, who is very, very bad policies when it comes to spying on people, are literally going to be putting out an app that allows them to track and monitor the world. This, to me, we just simply have to look at the Chinese credit score and what's happening over in China at the moment. China tried to go through and vaccinate their workers in an airport because there was 2 people that got COVID, and the people rebelled. They locked them up into a garage to give them all a test, and the workers actually just broke through the lines and ran away. Even China at the moment can't even test their people because nobody wants this stuff. Around 54% of Americans say that they're okay with the vaccination, but 45% aren't. So, look, I don't know. Who's going to be monitoring it? Who's going to be keeping an eye on it? And
World Health Authority? I don't know. WHO?
Well, WHO is corrupt because all the stuff that's come out from the way they've been carrying on, they've flip-flopped more on this. And the fact is that most governments don't want to listen to the WHO, but it's against their interest anyway. The WHO has come out and said that lockdowns are inhuman.
Well, I'm just looking here at some of the countries that require vaccinations. If you and I want to go there, Bulgaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, France, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Poland, Slovakia. If we want to visit there, Bob, we need on our visa to have a stamp that says we have been vaccinated against mumps, measles, and rubella. That is mandatory. It's also in 20 other countries.
But those viruses don't mutate. That's not going to be a vaccination that you have to get every year for the rest of your life, making the drug companies filthy rich.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. There's also a whole list here for polio, and there's another one for yellow fever. So there are plenty of countries where you need vaccination. I see where you're going. So you're saying because we need a booster and because this is going to be ongoing, are we making the pharmaceutical companies rich?
Oh, we know we are. The US has already brought, I think it was 100 million doses of the Pfizer, and the total bill for that was $2 billion.
Well, I tell you who else might be getting rich, and I wouldn't mind of having shares in Pfizer 2 months ago, but the Australian Serum Laboratories, they'll get rich.
Yep. Yeah. We're going to make the drug companies filthy rich. We're going to end up having to dose everybody up on vaccinations for every single flu that comes out. What's next? There's a bad influenza that comes out next year, and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to have a vaccination for this.
Well,
where does it stop?
Where does it stop? There he is. Alternate Media Bob. We love your work, mate. Thank you very much for that.
Buddy.
So long as you keep us thinking, okay?
Well, that's the idea, isn't it?
That is the whole idea. I have no idea when I'll hear from you next because you just appear like Batman. You sort of whistle.
Next time Joyce says something stupid on the TV, I'll be on.
It's okay, Bob. Thanks for that, mate. Bob, before you go, Trump, has he said he's beaten? Has he conceded yet or not? Is he going? Are they going to drag him out? What's the latest in your opinion with the United States?
So I told you about 3 weeks ago. I told you there was 2 ways that Trump can win the election. And I mentioned back then, and you play the audio, you'll hear it, I mentioned the Supreme Court nomination. And that's what Trump is doing. All these court cases that are getting thrown out, the vast majority of them were not Trump's campaign. The vast majority were independent people or the Republican Party who have gone through and filed lawsuits. Or some of the ones that were Trump's were ones where he wanted to stop counting because of these people were not allowed to observe votes and stuff like that.
Okay, but is there any absolute concrete proof that there was electoral fraud? Concrete proof.
Yes.
You reckon there is? All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think he'll be gone. I think he'll go and he'll start up probably a TV network of his own, not using his own money, of course. And the Trump propaganda machine will continue to roll on. It's almost funny to watch it from over here. I'd hate to be living there. And what he has done, all this divisiveness. And remember, there's a lot of senior Republicans that are saying, Trump, shut the up. He's making the transition very, very difficult. And so instead of a United States of America, it's very much a divided States of America. But over here, we look at it as a circus. Bob, always good to talk. We'll catch up again soon. Next time you want to talk, you know you're welcome.
Just one thing. When you talk about the United States of America, it's not just Trump that's doing it as well. You also have the left, for example, at the moment, who are talking about putting Trump supporters in re-education camps.
Would you want to live there at the moment?
It's better than where we're going, mate. I'll tell you.
Bob.
Dude, I know it's coming down the pipeline. I sent a great big email to Jeff outlining this whole world reset, and me buying an island is looking more and more appealing by the day.
You're going to buy an island? Whereabouts?
Somewhere in international waters. I'll invite you and Jess, all right? You guys can come along and do the radio program over there.
Will we need a vaccination?
I don't know. We'll have to work that out.
You have to think about that, Bob. Bob, thanks for your call, mate. Bye-bye. There he is. Alternate Media Bob. He's been with me for 4 years now. He just pops in and pops out. And I find him entertaining and amusing. And he makes you think. 13335. He questions things, and I like that. 13353 is the telephone number. The quickie